And back for Motogp, I wonder as well. Third place then. Remy Gardner gets his trophy. Second place, Jorge Martin. But no doubt about the winner. First time he's seen the flag, of course, when it was given to him in Austria. The 21-year-old Marco Bezzecchi speaking with the bike. Don't give up. And now it's time for the national anthem.
There they are then, the live scenes from Valencia at the European Grand Prix. Congratulations to Marco, Jorge and Remy. Very well-deserved podium places today. And it's still on, this championship. Make no bones about it. Bastianini now leads the way. 6 points, only 6 points ahead of Sam Lowes. And Luca Marini back in the title hunt. 19 points off the top spot. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll be starting our build to the Premier Class Motogp. Don't go away.
And I'll be your professor today. And I will be talking about the brain. Now, does anybody know the difference between a dog brain and a human brain? Anybody? The dog's brain can't think as much as the human's brain because there's no high school for the dog. So, does anybody know how big the brain is? Sophia. Medium. Very good.
It's no surprise when all cars from Car come with a warranty. And we offer a 10-day money-back guarantee. Well, we only have the best quality cars from selected dealers. Search Car to find yours.
1-year-old Biniam doesn't yet know that he's been born with a cleft. He doesn't yet know how it will affect his life if it isn't treated, but it won't be long before he finds out. Forced to hide away, Biniam will become completely isolated. He'll find it almost impossible just to eat, just to speak, and Biniam will start to believe his whole life will feel this sad and lonely. Right now, so many innocent babies need cleft treatment. Please, will you help give a child like Biniam a better future? You'll help a child get the simple cleft treatment that will change their life forever. You can help give them a happy and healthy childhood. Just call 0800 144 5329, text SMILE12 to 70456, or go online and give £2 a month to Smile Train. Because without you, a child like Biniam will face a life filled with sadness and pain.
Qualifying conditions for the front four rows of the grid. Wow, it's a Takaaki Nakagami once again fires the LCR gun.
Oh, Jack drifting it round there.
Oh, that's as close as it gets. There goes Rins, top. Wow. So Rins is back in control. Oh, Nakagami's down in the dirt. This is Paul Espargaro. Goes top. Paul Espargaro on the KTM. Wow, what a lap from Paul Espargaro.
Look at him, he's so excited.
He's pumped, isn't he?
Welcome back, or welcome if you are just joining us for our live coverage from the European Grand Prix in Valencia. It's MotoGP time. Michael Laverty has jumped into the hot seat, and what a treat we had yesterday during qualifying, Michael. We've ended up with quite an interesting grid, but probably one that we didn't really expect. I'm not sure anybody had pole down for pole position, but it looks like he's got some race pace as well.
And he's fired up for it. He didn't quite get the results he felt he deserved earlier in the year in Austria when he was battling for that win. He said it's all to play for this weekend because there's been no dry practice, and he said that should benefit him. He's going to put it all on the line. As he said today, it's almost a winner-crash situation for Paul. He thinks he can potentially deliver that race victory for KTM today.
Something else that put a smile on our face yesterday was Taka Nakagami putting himself back on the front row. Of course, it was almost so close to fairy tale last time out, wasn't it? But then went down after he put in all the hard work. But this weekend, back on the front row again. What can he do?
He's got another chance to right that wrong from Aragon, where he had the pole position, he had the race pace to possibly run away with a victory on the day, and it all went crumbling on the first lap. So less pressure when you're third on the grid. When you're sat in that front row, you've got the perfect run down to turn one. So Taka will be approaching it in a little bit more relaxed frame of mind and hoping that pressure doesn't cause any issues. And he has the speed, and the Honda works around the Valencia racetrack.
What about the Suzuki? Because Alex Rins up there on the front row with his teammate in championship leader Jeremiah directly behind him. That's unusual to have it that way round, isn't it?
Yeah, with the Yamaha struggling a little bit in qualifying due to the weather. So for Suzuki's row 1 and 2, Alex Rins perhaps not the one they wanted in the front row, with the championship favourite Joan Mir on the second row. It's a good starting position for them, but both riders look comfortable this weekend. The bike's working. The hard thing is tyre choice now coming into the race, having had no proper dry running, but Joan Mir looked really strong in morning warm-up. That was his first proper dry laps of the weekend, and he topped the leaderboard. Alex Rins is fantastic around the Valencia racetrack. Was on the podium here in 2018 in rain conditions and dry, qualified in the front row of the grid as well. So I think the bike works well. I think both riders are feeling confident, they're looking fast, and with the championship hanging in the balance, this is the critical time at a circuit that seems to suit both riders. They've qualified well, so yeah, they're coming right into form at the correct time of the season.
I wonder how difficult it is going to be actually for Suzuki team boss Davide Brivio in this situation where obviously Alex Rins is still very much in the hunt for the championship and Jeremiah is leading. I mean, it's great that the team's in this position. But I wonder whether we can go to him right now. I can just see him here. Davide, hello, thank you so much for joining us, talking about you. Now I can talk to you. What a great situation you are in. You've got Joan Mir leading the championship. You've got Alex there in the mix for the championship. Now, Alex is on the front row of the grid. I'll just go straight in and ask you, what's the scenario in the garage in terms of if they're out there, are there any, I don't even like using the word team orders, but what's the conversation that's been had?
No, I mean, we pretty quiet. Let's say we had a warm-up this morning. Of course, the temperature were different, condition different, but they were quite comfortable on the bike, happy for the bike. We just have to decide about the tires, but now looks like clear. But John is very relaxed, and he just want to do a good race. Alex wants to try as well. He wants to try to win a race. And I mean, the garage is okay. I mean, like waiting for a race, like normal. And so we see. I think we can be competitive. Let's try.
Yeah, it will be great to see. Just let me be a bit more specific then with this one. Does Alex have to be careful with Joan because Joan's leading the championship, or can they both just go and race as hard as they normally do?
No, they free to race as they can and as they like. I mean, we just say to them that just to be careful when they are close each other, and so to respect each other. But then they are free to race because I mean there is no point to give a team order. First of all, we don't like so much these things, and also Alex is still on the fight for the championship. So so they can do their own race, just respect each other.
Davide, listening to Joan speak this weekend, he sounds really confident. Is he planning to go for a race win? Is that playing on his mind that he hasn't won a race this year, or is he just focused on the title?
Yeah, he doesn't speak very openly about a race win, but I'm sure he's in a corner of his mind, always this thinking, and he has a lot of expectation of himself. He's ambitious, and of course the win is one of the targets that he has. But of course, in this moment, maybe it's not the priority, because priority can be the championship. But I'm sure that if he can, he will try for that.
Davide, I've just got a question for you about the situation with Yamaha. Obviously, the manufacturer got penalised for the mistake that they made, but the riders didn't get any penalties. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, from one point it's a little bit strange to not, to penalise only team and not the riders, but from, let's say, pure sport point of view, it's good, because we like to fight on the track, and we wanna try to continue this battle for the championship like we going. So keep going like it is. So whether it's right or not, but okay, we like to fight on the track without thinking too much. Of course, this put a little bit of shadow, I think, on their championship, because anyway, it's a fact that the first race they had the engine, they were not legal. But okay, we decided not to care about and just continue our way and try to beat them on the track.
Davide, with very little dry track time, really only morning warm-up this weekend, have you went back to the setting bank from Valencia 2019, or is it just something that's evolving track to track this season?
No, we basically, because also from Valencia, the things are changing. It's a kind of a different vibe. So we kind of continue our, let's say, our setup, the geometry we are using, just a little bit modified in some cases. But okay, there was not so much time, but luckily the rider didn't have any issue, any complaint this morning. Just small adjustment before the race, but let's say they were comfortable, and we okay.
Davide, thank you so much for your time. We wish both of your boys the very best today. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Enjoy.
Interesting to hear Davide talking about on one side. I think he expected the riders would get a penalty on the other side. He doesn't want anyone to say that his guys maybe won't because they got a penalty. So it's all a bit political, isn't it?
It's a nice position to take, because he wants Suzuki to win it and not courtesy of a points disadvantage to Yamaha. So either way, if Suzuki wins it, I think they're the big winners out of all this. So even if a Yamaha rider wins it, the championship, there's going to be a slight question mark over should they have lost a few points. So we hope that doesn't happen. We hope it just sorts itself out on track.
Yeah, let's have a look at the progression then of the main contenders in this championship from when the season started way back in Eropa. And you can just kind of see, that Fabio Quartararo there is in green. Started off with a bang, started off really well, and then he kind of plateaued in mid-season, and he's sort of been there or thereabouts. But if you look at blue, which is John Mir, there was that slow start, and then it's just been this kind of monumental rise, really, hasn't it? And yet, no win.
He was robbed of that win, really, when you look at Austria.
Yeah.
So in his head, he was the moral victor, although you don't get the 25 points for that. But you look at that progression for Joan Mir, and also for Franco Morbidelli, you can see that belief in his results, and also in his comments. He believes he's still very much in this championship fight. So it looks like it's what we didn't foresee pre-season, a fight between the inline four, so the Suzukis and the Yamahas. It's all to play for, and you struggle to pick a favourite out of all four of those. It could go any which way for Joan Mir, for Fabio Quartararo or Morbidelli. With Viñales starting from pit lane today, you can almost rule him out of the scoring points, strong points today at least.
Yeah, well, Maverick Viñales does start from the pit lane today, and the reason for that is that he's had to take a sixth engine. So he has to take a penalty for that, and we wonder actually whether we might see a bit more of that with 2 races to go with Petronas. That's what they're against, isn't it?
That's the question mark. You asked Wilco Zeelenberg the question yesterday. He said they're not worried about it, but I think he's playing the game, he's being diplomatic, and I think trying not to focus anything on having that question mark over the riders hanging over their heads. But I think it will be a pressure point for them managing the mileage of those engines. It's going to be crucial come Portimao if they have to take that sixth engine, pit lane start. it's all but over.
Yeah, so much to think about, isn't there? With still 2 races to go, and arguably with Maverick Vinales possibly out of this fight now for the championship, having to go from the pit lane today. Let's hear from the top 3 contenders.
Joan, 14 points gap between yourself and Fabio Quartararo. How has that felt to look at that gap over the last few days? And how does it feel going into the weekend in Valencia?
Well, that gap looked special because we don't know. Of course, I need to increase that gap. I want to get something. I'm trying to work hard to get the victory, honestly. It looks like we are getting everything, but not the victory. We are constantly on the podium. We are getting some really good points everywhere. So I'm so happy.
Actually, right now that I'm one of the chasers of Joan, I feel great. I feel that we have a great rotation. Feel like I have not a lot to lose. So yeah, I'm happy to be in this position. I think the only way for us to be a champion or fight for the championship at least is to win. So we will go for it, and I think the best is not to think about the championship, to be part in Portimao to fight for it.
There are 3 races from the end. We are 25 points behind. We are already in a great situation. We were not expecting this. We were aiming for good results this year, but not such great results. But now we are here. We see the goal. We see the prize after the finish line. And we need to go for it in order to don't have any regret at the end of this season. So we will try to get the best out of every single session, every single race, and we will try to go for this championship, and we will see where we are at the end of it. I didn't expect at the beginning of the season to be leading, so I don't have nothing to lose. I think that I am not the one with more pressure. I was looking for a world title, but not now. My project was a little bit more far away, not the second year. But we have the opportunity, so I will try to get the opportunity.
So that's where they're at in their head, and here is Joan Mir arriving for this race. I just want to read you a quote that's from yesterday when he was asked about pressure. Joan Mir, and this sort of sums him up for me. He said, pressure is what's happening with COVID or with people who can't pay their rent. I'm competing for a Motogp title. If it goes well, it will go very well, and if it ends bad, it will also go well for me. There are many people who are having a worse time.
That's a 23-year-old kid, essentially, who's leading the World Championship.